Good morning, esteemed members of the State and Local Government Committee. My name is Roseanna Young, and I'm a resident of Edgecombe and a lifelong Mainer. I'm here today to urge you to vote yes on HP 1058. Right now, the United States does not operate under the Constitution. Rather, it operates under the Constitution as interpreted by the Supreme Court. The president makes laws when the Constitution says only Congress can make laws. They spend money on issues the Constitution says belongs to the states. Washington, D.C. is broken, and as we've heard, it will never reduce its own power. As you've heard also, in 1787, George Mason was a Virginia delegate to the Constitutional Convention. He predicted that this day would come, and he gave us a solution, Article 5. When the delegates were debating the amending process to the Constitution itself, the proposal was on the table for Congress to propose all amendments, and the states would ratify all amendments. George Mason argued that a day would arise when the federal government would abuse its power. He believed the amendments to the Constitution could and should have checks and balances. He said, quote, "No amendments of the proper kind would be attained by the people if the government should become oppressive," end quote. I believe that's where we're at today. The amendments we need today will never be proposed by Congress. We need to stop the general welfare clause that says Congress can spend money on anything it wants. We need to stop the crushing regulations of our economy through the misuse of the Commerce Clause. We need to stop the crushing debt that has arisen from inappropriate spending projects. And we must do something to stop the overreach of the federal government. The structure of decision-making matters. Who decides the laws is more important than what is decided. If our liberties are to be protected, then we need to follow the principle that the power of the federal government is limited and enumerated. Myself and many of my fellow Americans have had enough of federal overreach, and we're ready for true change that I believe only a convention of states can bring. There is speculation that the Convention of States will become a runaway convention, and I have included in your packets the flyer addressing those concerns. I'm here today to urge you to vote to bring the power back to the states, to each of you sitting here. As the saying goes, as you heard already, as Maine goes, so does the nation. Right now, with the 19 states that have already passed the resolution and the over 15,000 signatures in favor, I'm asking you to make Maine the 20th state. I know that I would rather have the states deciding what is best for me and my family rather than the federal government. I have 2 grandsons that are going to be left with this federal deficit. I had 27 trillion. I heard today it's 32. So even worse. How are they supposed to live the American dream if we keep borrowing more and more? It's going to reduce the opportunities and prosperity for them. We are obligated to ensure that the next generation is able to define their own path, control their own destiny and policies without the burden of forever paying for our current needs.
Ms. Young, I'm going to ask you
2
to wrap
seconds.
up with 1 sentence.
All right. America is founded on a principle that we must leave the next generation better off with financial freedom to decide their own future. That's why I strongly urge you to vote ought to pass on HP 1058. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.